Good afternoon, Bondo here. We're back at it with stupid and fun and action, and we are not back on Little Turtle today, but we are in the walled turtle barn. This thing's pretty cool actually for the money people. You know, I got it on Temu, but still. Get you a look at it. It's 12 by 20. I mean, the doors roll up on either end. They have zippers on both sides. You know, and they just clip like that. Little snappy snaps. I figure that's going to be the first failure point. After a few years, this plastic will get brittle. The canvas, it seems to be, you know, kind of plastically, but the weave is good. And you see here in daylight, it lets enough light through. You could do anything to this. I mean, it's a little tight. It's a little tight, you know, for painting her. But I don't have the tent exactly centered, or the car is not exactly centered in the tent. I may here so that we can. See, I have the Buick right behind this thing, and it's the tent. I don't want the tent, if it does pick up, I don't want to beat on that Buick any more than I already have by the wind, by keeping the hood off of it and banging against it. I hope you guys are doing good. Dude, I spent yesterday, Karen, my wife, she got a hole in the tire delivering the mail. So she had them, while she was in town, she told us low, and she stopped at a tire shop and they filled it up for her, so it was fantastic. And so when she got home, I looked at the tire, and she had managed to run over a 3-inch nail. So anyways, I got that fixed. I never use an impact to totally torque my lug nuts. I just don't. I tighten it by hand. And in this instance, it bit me. I tighten it down with the impact, which I got from Tina. And so I dropped it back down, checked the oil, did some other stuff. And I didn't torque them by hand. So she calls me about 11:30 in the morning, said that somebody stopped her and pulled over, stopped her and told her that she needed to stop. And lo and behold, 4 of the 5 lug nuts had left, and the last one was loose. Look, I should have took pictures. The wheel was sitting. It was sitting at a good angle. So I had some spare lug nuts because I had the one that I scrapped. I kept some parts off of for just this kind of stuff. So I thought I'm just going to have to jack this up, and I'm going to have to jack it up, and then just put the new lug nuts on. And she'll be on her way. This was not the case. The lugs, since they didn't have lug nuts on it, the vibration in the wheel had bent them a little bit and knocked them in behind the rotor. So they're just hanging in there. So when I went to put the wheel on, there was only one stud sticking out. And she works in the middle of the woods in Bumtucky, West Virginia. And so with our Cadillac DeVille, I spent the next 6.5 hours driving her around dusty gravel roads and potholes and all that kind of crap, and we delivered the mail out of a Cadillac. And the silver Cadillac has 258,000 miles. People say the North Stars are junk. Well, I don't agree with you. Everything is maintenance. But anyways, so I drove around. I went to O'Reilly's. I bought a little tool kit, and I did not pay attention I got a small ratchet set, right? You know, what ratchet set doesn't have both metric and American? You know, people say that, you know, metric and American, it's the exact same size and blah blah blah, but no, that they are not. And if stuff isn't really tight, an American wrench will take off, you know, the metric version. But if it's really tight, you need to have what it's supposed to be. And what I was sold was an American standard set, and yeah, the bolts were too tight. And yeah, and then I wanted to take the backing plate, and the bolts, the sockets didn't work. So I flagged down one of the neighbors or whatever, and we ended up getting everything taken care of. But what is cool, huh? I think this Temu Beastie is $25 to $35. Came with a charger, came with a spare battery, and I drew the new studs back through the hub, back through the wheel bearing to draw them back in so I could put the lug nuts back on. And if you guys have ever pulled, you know, lug nuts in, you know, that's something I did have for the neighbor. We got a larger nut to put over the threads, because, you know, you can't just use one nut to tighten another with an acorn style nut, because you can't screw the thing in far enough. I got that done, but anyways, we're back on this thing today. Today, we are going to investigate a noise in this front end. I'm hoping that it's this end link. It wasn't making any noise, but I put some grease in it. I put some grease in it the other day, so it might be worn out. And so since it might be worn out and now is greased, I have allowed it to flop around. So anyways, this is what we're going to do with that. Since I've talked a whole bunch at the beginning of this, you know, I'm making these videos about, you know, whatever. I'm making videos about whatever comes to my head. You know, what's going on, this and that, because, you know, you guys have your actual lives. You guys all have your actual bullshit you go through. You know, so I'm gonna, you know, this is gonna be a chronicle of what I do. You know, just to let you know that, hey, I relate to the stuff that you do. You know, and by the way, you know, if you you got projects going on or whatever, you got channels, and you're looking at this, feel free, you know, to, you know, put your channels, you know, put them in the comments and the links. You know, because I don't know about any of these other channels, what they're looking for, what their growth, you know, but for me, it isn't like rock bands. And like rock bands, you don't want to, a lot of rock bands won't do anything at all, say anything about another rock band, because it's competition. Well, for me, there's absolutely no competition. Every other channel out there in existence going car content, all this kind of stuff, they can do what they can do. But you know what? You know what they can't do? They can't have the great friends like I do from all over the world that are playing music for you for absolutely nothing. You know, they're doing this stuff just for your enjoyment, for my enjoyment. You know, music makes the world a little bit better place. But anyways, I'm going to get you with my time-elapsed action, and we're going to get this wheel off. And so I'm probably going to go ahead and start, you know, wiggling stuff around, and I'm not going to interrupt the song. I'm going to move fast. It's going to be boogie time for you, and I'll pick a boogie time song. But anyways, let's do this, people. Thanks for being here.
These deepest fears keep haunting me. this is over, I'm gonna kill you.
I was walking home from a night on the town when I fell to my face like a tree to the ground. I hit a metal plate, it turned my face numb. C&D water 1931. I was out with the boys, first time in a while, drinking two at a time, as was our style. We drank until dawn, talking about the past, how little we knew this night would be the last. Yawning home, way down in my hall. Well, what you had done, it turned my life down. When I see you again, you'll be stricken dumb.
And we're back. I got the tie rod in placed, and I managed to do something stupid when using a cutting wheel. Always pay attention to what you're cutting. While cutting this tie rod end, I was having a hard time getting a good angle. And look what I managed to do. I cut into that a few times. So now, I'm glad I have 220 down in this garage too. Now I'm gonna go get my welder. And then we're gonna weld this guy back up. It's probably all right the way that it is, but yeah, I'm gonna put some metal back in him. I actually did something kind of smart. When I wired my shop, as I'm cheap, I used some of the 220 wire from my homemade 220 extension cord that I made. And it used to be about 50 foot long. And, well, now it's about a 15 or 20 foot long. And so, to get from here over to the car, thinking the cord on the welder is 3 or 4 foot long. And so if I'd have drugged the welder and the tank and all that down here, well, you know what? And here are the lug nuts I pulled out. You have one that's straight. Okay, it's not straight. That was not straight. Anyways, none of these were any. Yeah, they're all junk. Good for the scrap man, bad for me. But anyways, I'm going to move the vehicle up to the other shop and be back to you then. I figure me just talking about I don't know if I mentioned, my wife's route. It's about 197 miles or something like that a day through the country, through gravel roads. And right now, a month ago, I was bitching about it raining. Well, it hasn't rained since then, and it's been so absolutely dry, it's gotten dusty. This gets dirty about every day. See the dust? It's kind of caked. So it looks a little bit dusty, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do right now for you guys is to give you a short time-elapsed piece of photography. I don't know whether I got the right one or not, or whether I'm going to be a bunch of editing and all that kind of stuff, but I want to get you guys another song. How about that, huh?
Wake up, America, take up, America, take up. Don't wanna get some time in the brain. Break down, take down, take down. Instead of doing okay. Wake up, enough is enough. Wake up, enough is enough. Wake up. Enough is enough. Wake up. Enough is enough.
You're coming for me now. Fist like fast. You stink of the grog. We gotta get out of here. Legal backyard abortion. Teenage girl, prison door slammed, and we're gonna get out of here. A one-way ticket, mama begging. We're running on empty with nothing left to fear. I'm alive at the end of the line, still alive at the end of the line, kind of more at the end of the line.
Yeah, it's me. I got a different shirt on because it's a different day. Yeah, I was gonna finish this yesterday. Ended up doing some other stuff, so we're gonna finish this. I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna take this little flapper disc, and I'm gonna clean off the tie rod. Spray a little brake clean. I'm gonna get everything clean because I want for what it is. I want the best penetration and the best deal possible. And I don't know if I'm all that best good a welder. I'm used to weld a lot more than what I did. I've been out of practice, different welder, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, what I do use, I have a Miller auto set Miller 180 220 welder, Millermatic 180. I like it pretty well. For my plasma cutter, I have a Padre SM5200DX. It's a plasma cutter, an arc welder, and a TIG welder. I have never used either of those other two functions, but the plasma cutting thing I like. Anyways, what we're gonna go do, end up with that. I'm happy with that. There's a little bit of extra stuff on the front. It's not exactly smooth. It's not exactly round. I have the little cuts filled, and then I have little couple layers of extra material on top of it. So I call it almost good. Almost good. When we put our new tie rod ends, most of these tie rod ends, if you get the greasable ones, which is, you really should get if you can get. I don't know whether they're any better or not, but I think it's nice. Old stuff everything had grease fittings. But for these 2 or 3 pumps, no more. You don't want to blow the seals out of them because they're just going to fail more prematurely. Give a little shake here. We'll shake here. It's still be good and hot, so it should almost dry immediately. Yeah, we could do all of it, but we don't really care. Just when you weld stuff, because of the heat of the thing, stuff just rusts really, really quick when you weld it. So I get a little paint on there because I have it. All right, so there's that part of the show. One more thing we're going to investigate on this thing is I noticed a gassy smell, so the wheel that I almost lost the other day because I didn't tighten down the lug nuts. Went through the whole fiasco. I got to pull it back off because I think I can see a little bit of the issue. I can see a little bit of wetness on the gas tank. So we're going to see if we can see what it is. Well, we got that part of it. It isn't exactly the prettiest. I don't care. It's underneath the vehicle. I just wanted I wanted to put the structural integrity back in it. Did that, filled all the cracks and stuff like that, and then add a little bit more material to it. I am back. I did a little bit more welding. I turned the vehicle around. I didn't show you the welding because it was just more what I was doing. And I was welding back by the gas tank, so if I blew up, I didn't want you guys to watch. Well, that would have been, I probably would have got some views then, right? Anyways, here's what we did. I had on top of this body mounting stuff that had a little hole rusted in it or whatever. So rather than try to take the welder and fill it in, I found a little strip of, I don't know, maybe eighth inch plate, a little bit thicker than what the thing was made out of originally, and I just tacked that on around it or whatever. Yeah. And I couldn't grind it back down to the welds. I wasn't worried about pretty welds. I was going for getting the piece for strength and solidify it, and that's what I did. So now I'm going to do the right thing, give a little bit of adder protection. And get all around his area, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, Yeah, old Pearl. We gave $500 for Pearl. We cut the fenders off the other one and stuff like that, and we put tires on it. And my wife makes, we get paid just about $1, 97 cents a mile to drive the thing, and the route's about 97 miles long. So it's $97 a day in fuel reimbursement. And if you take that and you think that's 6 days a week. And we paid $500 for this thing originally. It's paid for itself multiple times. The engine seems to be doing pretty good. Drivetrain seems to be going pretty good. This thing came from Pennsylvania. So it does have, well, that was an additional rust issue. I didn't see that. I guess it was covered with dirt before. But anyway, so I got most of the other ones. You know, if we can keep, we're gonna run this thing as long as it'll run, or, you know, until it falls apart. But hey, we got more metal. We got a welder. We got wire. We can buy gas. You know, you can keep stuff to run just as long as you want to. Anyways, I think I'm going to end that. I got a few new songs, and I hear Gary. Oh, yeah, you hear Gary too. I'm sure you do. Gary's a kitty. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today and yesterday, as this is a 2-day video, because my videos get finished whenever I'm done doing what I think is going to make the video. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in any rush. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm glad you guys are along with me. Sure to, if you can, find the artist pages that have contributed music to this video and the other videos. A lot of them are the same artists and stuff. I don't have that many on the roster, but you know, that's okay, because they have a lot of different songs, and you know, these guys are interested in helping me, so I'm really interested in helping them. Just like hope that you find what I'm doing interesting in you. You guys take care of one another. You matter. And, as always, Bonsai out.